Okay, so we're back for more of that FGO live. So we're gonna continue on for more of that of Lostbelt 4. You got Kshetra. I'm just eating apples anyway. After that, eating dinner. Right. So let's see. Western Fault Line. Return of Paradise. The shape of evil to be cut off. So on Peaceful Land? Okay. I experienced the Kali Yuga ending several times after Asvat the Man was taken from me. I felt the light of creation wrapping me in a tight embrace, just as powerless to do anything as the people absorbed in their worthless prayers. As long as the god of this world doesn't consider you defective, at least there's no pain. You don't feel it. The light just keeps getting brighter, blinding you and even numbing you to the passage of time. The next thing you know, you're right back where you started. Only everything around you's been changed. I don't know what the locals make of that experience, but it was awful enough to almost make me vomit. I'd rather stick my head inside a festering dead body or kiss a pile of excrement from a prison cell without plumbing. Those options might be revolting, but at least I wouldn't have to be so frightened. So while I hate to admit it, when that light finally subsided and I found myself standing there, I would be relieved that I have avoided being taken away. But it was never long after that my relief turned to worry, to the point that I could barely think straight. Maybe I just got lucky this time. What about the next time? Or the time after that? So in retrospect, it was inevitable that I would take action like this sooner or later. This time, I managed to avoid the light by escaping to the reverse side of the world, so I thought I might feel differently now. But surprisingly, nothing changed. Upon laying eyes on the new world of this cycle, I felt the same things as always, loathing and discomfort. To use more contemporary slang, I just can't even with this world. I guess its god bothers me even more than I expected. In many ways, it's a perfect world. And yet, it's also just unbearable. Where are we now? Oh! The air smells sweet. There's water and flowers everywhere you look. And there's a calm and gentle breeze. What is this place? Wanna know what the most surprising part is? You're standing in almost the same spot that we sailed from. Our location didn't change. The entire rest of this world did. Thankfully, there are no hostiles in the immediate area. Let's begin by paying another visit to the town of Bichu. Is something wrong, Pepe? You look kind of angry.
What's that? You're jealous of how soft and smooth my skin is? Why, it's all in the upkeep, hun. Unlike Miss Never Changing Akuda, I actually have to work to make sure I look this good. Go on, feel how supple my cheeks are for yourself. They're my pride and joy, you know.
That's okay.
Oh, silly, there's no need to be shy. But anywho, going to visit that town next sounds just dandy. The topography and plant life changes that come with the new Yuga are all just surface level details. The thing that changed the most after what Arjuna did will have been the people.
Okay, let's go check out the town.
Understood.
But make sure to keep the border's location in mind at all times from now on, Silk Frost. I don't want us to ever have to run for our lives like that again if we can help it. What in the...
Woo, woo, woo. Wow, there's not a single brick out of place now. In fact, this is exactly what the town looked like when I first came to this well.
I can't believe it. It's like the Cowley never attacked it at all. What in the world is going on? Then there's the people going about their lives here. They all look happy now. They're practically beaming. Great. Look who it is.
Goodness, you're all okay. This is wonderful news. Just wonderful. This truly must be the God's will. All is right with the world once again. Oh no, that isn't quite right, is it? First, I owe you all an apology. No matter how dire the circumstances were at the time, I should never have spoken to you like that. I know it will be enough to truly make amends, but I'll be including all of you in my prayers from now on. I only ask that you please not hold what I said against the people of this lovely town.
What? Yesterday he wanted to run us out of town, and now he's all happy to see us? Woo, woo.
Even foes nuzzling up to him? Didn't you say we were godless heretics you wanted nothing to do with?
Don't be ridiculous. The fact that you're here now is proof you overcame the last Yuga's difficulties with us. That makes you all one of us now. You're our friends, our family. And not only that, today is the blessed first day of Kshetra Yuga, the Yuga of peace. Are you hungry? If you like, you're welcome to come and eat with me at my mansion. Or would you prefer some fine ornaments for the young ladies? We also have plenty of beautiful flowers.
We kind of wanted to explore the town, so...
I see. Well, that's a pity. I was hoping to introduce you to the rest of the townspeople. Oh, by the way, that mansion over there is my house. I'm afraid it ended up that big on account of my being mayor. It's very embarrassing living somewhere as ostentatious as that, but it is not without meaning. Please feel free to come visit whenever you have the time. You'll always be welcome in my home. Good day then.
What the heck? I've never seen someone go from jerkwad to sweetheart in no time flat like that. He seemed elated.
It's probably because Kshetra Yuga's the Yuga of happiness. Tends to make most of the locals friendly and kind-hearted. Though of course, I'm sure there are exceptions. You guys again?
Oh, Master, it's Ajay. He doesn't seem any different now than he did before. I'm not judging either way. I'm just surprised how simply hearing him click his tongue again, he has made me feel so relieved. And then there's...
Oh, you guys! This is such a surprise! So you made it to the new Yuga, huh? That's great!
Yes, it wasn't easy, but we did make it. I'm glad to see you're okay too, Asha.
I sure am. I played extra hard, so I didn't get hurt at all.
I see. That's wonderful. Oh, but speaking of hurt, is your dog, Vihan, okay? He hurt his leg before the Kali Yuga, right? I don't see him with you.
Huh? Who's Vihan?
Oh. That seems to be different. Are we like in some sort of like time loop? Alright, quiet, Theo. Let's see, 1 second. So I think okay. Oop. Alright. Oh, I gotta change this one. Another caster. Wait a second. AoE caster. I guess I'll try Needle Chris for death chance success. Right here. Let's see how well it goes.
Fool. Alright, it should be safe to discuss this now that we've come this far. What is the meaning of this?
This world runs on a Yuga cycle, but needless to say, these aren't proper Yugas. A real cultured Yuga, or Satya Yuga depending on who you ask, is supposed to last for 4,800 years. Then the Trita Yuga is supposed to last for 3,600 years, the Dvapara Yuga for 2,400, and the Kali Yuga for 1,200. And on top of that, these are in God years, where each one is equivalent to 360 human years. Suffice to say, we're talking about a really long cycle.
Whereas in this world, it would seem only the ratios have been preserved, given that each Yuga is apparently 4, 3, 2, and 1 day long, respectively.
That's right, but the people I talked to here said things weren't always like this. It used to be that the Yuga cycle lasted for hundreds of years, or maybe even longer.
So, that is what this world was like immediately after it was pruned away and became a Lostbelt.
Right. I'm sure the period where Kali would show up had to have been proportionately longer back then. But I'd also bet they showed up much less frequently than they do now. Otherwise, the people here would have gone extinct long ago. But over time, the cycle got shorter and shorter, and now it only lasts 10 days. I have to think that drastically shortened cycle is why there are so many more Kali now. They used to only be let out a bit at a time, but now the floodgates have been opened, so to speak.
Why did Arjuna shorten the Yuga cycle so much?
Part of it is thanks to that visible poison in his ear, like I said earlier. And part of it is that the Tree of Emptiness has given him power he didn't have before that lets him do so. Yes, I know that only addresses the how, not the why. I'm getting to that. I think the reason he's sped things up so much is to reach whatever end he has in mind for all this that much faster. In short, it looks like he's in no rush to create his perfect world.
What do you mean by that?
Okay, now I can finally answer the question that's been plaguing all of you. What exactly happened earlier? The answer is that it's something unique Arjuna does. Something that isn't meant to happen in a normal Yuga. Whenever one of these shortened Yuga cycles comes to an end, he purges everything he considers defective and unnecessary from this world. He believes that by repeating that process over and over, he'll eventually arrive at a perfect world, devoid of anything it shouldn't have, or, as he thinks of it, evil.
Damn, that's one hell of a destination. I see. So this purging must include living things, not just inanimate objects.
Right. And as far as I can tell, when a living thing is purged, it's like it never even existed.
So that's what happened to the poor dog that couldn't run after breaking its leg. I can't believe it. Asha loved that dog more than anything, and now she doesn't even remember him. Yeah, that's harsh.
It happens to anyone who's unlucky enough to be killed by a Kali too. That's a sort of disqualifying offense. Same goes for people who end up as social pariahs, or if Arjuna himself ends up judging you to be flawed. When the next Yuga rolls around, they just cease to exist. It might sound contradictory, but I think Arjuna adjusts for things like that whenever he remakes the world.
I see. That would explain how continuity and discontinuity can exist simultaneously in the new Yuga. For example, Asha may have completely forgotten her beloved dog, but she still remembered all of you. But how does such a thing even work?
I'm not entirely sure myself, but I can tell you what that blabbermouth disciple of the foreign god said. He said Arjuna collects every bit of data that makes up the world whenever he blows it away, kind of like a snapshot. Then, when it's time to begin a new Kshetra Yuga, he uses that data, let's call it Snapshot A, to reassemble the world. As he puts everything back together, he removes all the elements he deemed defective and unnecessary. And in the end, he has a new world based on Snapshot A, but reflecting the changes he's made.
Oh, I get it. He's a cheater. He's basically hacking his saved data, changing the parameter to suit his preferences before reloading it. Cheaters! The scum of gamers everywhere. Don't they know hacking saves takes all the fun out of it?
He's not doing this to have fun. All he cares about is making what he considers to be a perfect world. A world consisting only of what is truly necessary, with nothing wasted or evil to be found.
Aha! Now I know what genre he's playing to. He's into 4X games.
What are those?
A 4X game is a simulation where the player just sets the initial parameters and then the world sort of plays out from there. And if you're a cheater, if something happens in your sim that you don't like, say if an enemy nation takes you by surprise and invades you, you save your game, hack your data, and reload, and it's like the enemy nation that was bothering you never existed. That's the kind of thing we're talking about here, right? Arjuna's just doing that over and over until he wins, right? I swear, what's the point of even playing if you're just gonna cheat to win? That's your cheaters! That's what I say!
I guess some people just care about the destination, not the journey.
Video game analogies aside, if that's true, it sounds like Arjuna isn't remaking the world from scratch from every time he resets the cycle then. Instead, he's basically treating the world like a model, adding new parts and removing old ones.
Then it would stand to reason that, strictly speaking, the people here may not be dying and be brought back to life.
Yeah, it seems more likely that everything down to their souls is being saved as data, and that their memories are being modified when they're put back into the new world. And if that's the case, we're talking about a much smaller scale feat than creating the entire universe from nothing. It's still a big friggin' deal, don't get me wrong. But if Arjuna's got every Indian divinity and support from the Tree of Emptiness, it's theoretically possible.
I'm beginning to see the larger picture. There is something about this Lostbelt that is almost reminiscent of a singularity. The Russian, Scandinavian, and Chinese Lostbelts we've seen so far were all the result of the world where some definitive event happened in their respective past to dramatically change the course of history. But this Indian Lostbelt is still in the middle of its definitive event. Here, its king is continually trying to evolve this world by regularly recreating it with parameters that would be unthinkable in proper human history. While he has yet to reach his goal of a perfect world, I suspect the reason this world was pruned is that the very act of trying to change it in such a manner was considered a mistake. What is it, Director Gordov? If you have any questions, please go right ahead.
Do you ever shut up? I don't mind you explaining things, but I insist you do so concisely in a report I can read at my leisure. You just gave me flashbacks to one of my teachers in my clock tower days who would lecture me for what felt like days on end. Who cares if the people here are technically dying or not when this world is remade? The part that actually matters is that we will die if we get caught in that.
I suppose you do have a point.
Of course I do. Now then, I say we pivot this discussion to more practical matters. Namely, how do we stay safe, and what is our next course of action? You there, Paparoncino. It's only by my good graces that you're running around outside instead of being confined in a border under lock and key. Now, repay the favor by telling us something we can use, damn it!
Something you can use, Well, I guess I can think of one thing. Pulling up a feat that massive takes a lot out of Arjuna, so he isn't able to move around much. And I don't just mean that long stretch of time at the end of Kali Yuga when he charges up that noble phantasm. I'm pretty sure that, unlike most servants, he doesn't do much of anything the rest of the time either. I guess he just doesn't have access to the energy he would need to do more than ride that Vimana of his. I think that's how he spends most of his time. Just riding around the Tree of Emptiness on his Vimana. Of course, he might look like he's spacing out up there, but I'm sure he's actually keeping a close eye out for the next bit of evil to purge.
It's probably got something to do with containing so many powerful divinities with himself. It would also explain why he seems so devoid of personality. But then, isn't that exactly why he would need other servants to handle other things for him?
Ashvatha man did say something about that, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. I think he called himself a Lokapala.
Lokapala. In original Indian mythology, Lokapala was said to protect the world. They were the guardians of all directions. Though I don't know what that could mean.
We know who their Neza is now, but who are those two other servants?
I'm afraid I don't know. I was already on the outs with Arjuna when he got around to summoning them. By that time, he just considered me an outsider he didn't need to worry about. Though since I'm Ashvatha man's former master, he did tell his servants to eliminate me if they happen to see me. Suffice to say, I have no idea what their true names are, though I get the feeling they're an archer and a caster.
I think I can make an educated guess, but there's no point in speculation at this point. We need solid info.
Well, this seems like a good time to tell you that those servants are not the only enemies we face here. There are also the sacred beasts, the mystical creatures the people here refer to as the agents of God.
Oh, those? The primitive guardian beasts Arjuna made to counteract the Kali. They manifest naturally. And since there are almost no Kali during the peaceful Kshetra Yuga, the beasts are supposed to just wander around like normal animals.
Supposed to?
Oh my, you're a better listener than I took you for. Oh my, you're a better listener than I took you for. Attentiveness is a wonderful quality, you know?
Sacred beast.
I guess that means Arjuna really doesn't want us here then. So of course, they'll attack us on sight now, just like the Kali.
You said these beasts wander around just like ordinary animals, yes? Then we clearly can't let our guard down just because it's Kshetra Yuga now. Still, I don't know if it's the sunshine or what, but my body feels lighter now. This shouldn't take long. Yeah, I'll show you guys how I can hold my own in a fight. Or at least, I hope I'll be able to.
屍の鏡、暗黒の壁、扉と恐怖の心、暗空ねぶた図
Really, Nito, Chris?
まだまだ。仕方お望みとあれよ。苦しみなさい。せい。うわ。正面から受けて立つ。
つまん連中だな。他にやることない。
逃がしはしない。これははいお任せよ。この明かりは星の希望、地を照らす命の証。決着をつけるぞエクスカリバー。振り上げる風よ舞い上がれ。
これでも勝ちは勝ちだよな。うん。
Alright. No battle.
Okay, now that we've gone over how things generally work in this Lostbelt, what do you think of it?
Right. I don't think it's right.
Me neither. Asha and Vihan looked to me like they were the best of friends. They were like family. And I'm positive that had nothing to do with how well Vihan could or couldn't run. It didn't matter how well he could hunt or stand guard either. As far as Asha was concerned, she just loved him and wanted him to stay by her side.
Oh.
Aww. So, if the god of this world just erased the relationship for his own reasons, what happens to all the love she had for him? All the happiness she felt when they were together? Where does it go?
You said it.
Foo! Amazing. The same girl who used to resemble nothing so much as a living doll, expounding on love. Oh, this is just precious. I think I'm going to cry. Although, I wonder what Barrow would say if he saw this new mash.
Allow me to offer some criticism of this world from a different perspective. I'm sure it's been some time since a calendar meant anything in this world, but for the purposes of our discussion, let's say the year here is 2021. As I'm sure you're aware from visiting nearby town, civilization here has not advanced anything like as far as in proper human history. That is not to say I only value post-industrial age advances, or that I have no appreciation for a life lived in harmony with nature. I assure you, neither is true. I am merely saying that civilization as a whole has clearly not progressed here when compared to proper human history. That aspect alone is enough for me to declare this world a far cry from anything approaching the ideal. The march of civilization has stalled here just like in the Chinese Lostbelt, albeit for very different reasons. And it hardly needs saying, but I don't like the way this god does things either. Cheaters get perma banded, that's what I say. On another though, is everything okay, Rama? Something on your mind? I just realized something. Arjuna has obtained every Indian divinity in this Lostbelt's history, right? Then that would mean Sita is one of them. Really? Just as I am an avatar of Vishnu, Sita is an avatar of Vishnu's consort, Lakshmi. Of course, that doesn't mean they are one and the same, but they're certainly close enough. So then, what should I do? What else? I had to save her. That is who I am. It's my very reason for existing.
So love is your main motivator for defeating Arjuna? Well, that's just beautiful.
What do you think of Arjuna, Pepe?
Me? It's like I said, I thought he and this world were a dead end the moment I met him. Can't get much further from my type than this version of Arjuna. He might be a pretty face, but that soul of his is ugly as sin.
Master, there may not be any need for me to say this, but please let me say it again anyway. Pepe is a good person. I believe we can trust him, and I think we should work together with him on this. Looks like we're both on the same page. Looks like we're both on the same page, Mash.
Aw, that's sweet! Thanks, you two!
Nonetheless, the fact remains that you are a cryptor. Are you truly about to let your assigned Lostbelt be destroyed? What would you say to the others?
Why, I'll just say, I did my best, but it wasn't good enough. Oopsie! I don't want to get on their bad side either. I'm just going with the flow here.
Huh. Well, I trust you even less now. If you're so easygoing, why did you join the Cryptors in the first place? You could have just turned them down from the start.
Well, that was a cruel thing to say.
Huh?
Circumstantial change confirmed. I have a proposal for you, chosen ones. An offer for those of you who were cast aside. If you desire acclamation, then choose rebirth. If you desire indolence, then choose eternal sleep. It makes no difference to a god.
I didn't want to have to tell you this, but we didn't have any choice. Thawing the coffins might not sound like a big deal, but it's basically like recovering dead bodies. We were all dead in there. We were never going to wake up from that darkness. But then, the foreign god came and told us, you may live on as a cryptor, or die as a master. And that was that. Honestly, I still don't know who or what this foreign god is. Kshetra seems like he does, but he's not one to talk. All I know is, in exchange for being given new life, we were to be thrown out into this newly wiped clean world, and put in charge of growing our respective Lostbelt's tree of emptiness. Of course, I know we betrayed all of mankind when we chose to leave our coffins as cryptors, so I'm not under any illusion that we're the real victims here. I'll even admit that I thought this game to see who will get to be the king of the world sounded fun. Whatever will be, you know. If an old monk friend of mine were here now, he'd probably say something like, you guys were just unlucky. Still, there's nothing to be gained from cursing your fate, and besides, I was already getting bored with it. So I'm just going to do the best I can, and try not to throw my life away for nothing. I'm not going to sell out my fellow cryptors, and I have no desire to fight all of you to the death either. And since that works out for both of us, isn't that good enough for now?
Then, does that mean nobody on Team A willingly chose to side with the foreign god?
I don't know all about all of us, but me, Kadak, and Ophelia sure didn't. Oh wait, I guess Ophelia's an exception. She swore to become a cryptor for her own, very personal reasons.
Then please, just tell me one thing. Where does the name Cryptors come from? Is it a code name for something? Did the foreign god give it to you?
No way! You're really bringing that up now? Oh, right, I just remembered. You never knew this, did you, Mashi? Now it all makes sense. The name Cryptors comes from Director Maurice Bury. It was the title he gave to the special master who were chosen for Team A.
Say what?
Anywho, let's talk about how exactly we can go about beating Arjuna. Cause I'll be honest, I've got nothing.
This is no laughing matter. He even shrugged off my noble phantasm like it was nothing. Although, now I understand why. It's because his very divine existence is just that strong. There's no trick or even magecraft involved. It's just what he is. Plain and simple. Geez, so he even cheats but just by existing? How in the world are we supposed to beat him then?
Honestly, you're in much worse shape to fight him now that Connie's out of the picture. I just don't see how Ganesha there could ever fill his shoes, no matter how hard she tries.
Hey, you don't have to rub it in. Believe me, I'm well aware.
Maybe there's someone else who could help us?
True, there could well be another rogue servant here. If we could find them and win them over, it would be the fastest and surest way of bolstering our ranks.
That would be great, but it is a big if. Well, if there is anyone else like Ganesha around here, there's a good chance someone in town might know about them. Why don't we head back to Beach again and see what we can find out?
Sounds good to me! Then what are we waiting for? Like they say, no road is long with good company, and it's best to make hay while the sun shines. Eee! Don't worry about a thing. I'll make sure we never run out of things to talk about on the way.
I can't say that was actually a concern.
We didn't have any choice.
That's right. I'd forgotten that. Everyone had their reason for making the choices they did. That's why things ended up like this. Nice people. Not so nice people. People who were interested in me. People who weren't interested in me. I know everyone on Team A. I'd forgotten I knew that. I only just remembered that they were also people who lived in Chaldea. That's why, right now, if I was stronger, maybe I wouldn't be feeling so conflicted right now. If only I was a perfect dumb servant, then...
Something wrong?
Fool? Oh, sorry, it's nothing. It looks like we're almost there. I already have an idea for who we can talk to first. It would be great if she knows something.
Oh, Asha?
Are the gods? I guess you haven't heard anything then.
Maybe using the word God isn't the best way to go about it. It might be better to take a different approach. We're looking for someone who is very much out of place in this world. In other words, someone who finds this place as wrong as we do. If someone like that exists, they'd probably be out of fighting Kali regardless of what Yuga it is. So the question we should be asking is... Here, little miss, let me put it to you this way. Have you heard any rumors about naughty heretics who don't obey your God's teachings? Oh, besides us, of course.
Oh, I think the mayor would probably know something about that.
Well, I wouldn't call them bad exactly. Everything alive in this world is the God's creation after all. But I would say they're just a bit too focused on the wrong things, unfortunately. Nonetheless, yes, I have heard there are people like that in the village on the other side of the mountain. I'm told they spend most of their time taking up weapons and fighting the Kali, in defiance of the God's teachings. They certainly do things differently than we do in Bichu, where we accept God's trials with piety and grace. But I suppose that is just the way they choose to live their lives.
It's still a bit shocking how much more admirable he is now compared to when we first met him. But anyway, this is great. Now we have a promising lead. Let's head for this village right away, Master.
Sounds good to me, but just be aware that you might not be able to get there by nightfall. I think it's better if we don't move around too much in the middle of the night. So if you find a good place to make camp, don't be shy about doing just that, okay?
Don't worry about that. I hate going on a forced march. If I have to go hiking, I make sure to take it nice and slow. As long as I'm around, I won't be letting anyone push themselves too hard. Not even if they want to.
Alright, I'll be right back. I gotta go take a bathroom break. So, be right back. Okay, I'm back. Back from the bathroom. Oh crap. Took a bit of a dump out. Anyway, secluded cave. That's cute, Ganesha. Sleeping in statue mode. We'll be heading back out. We'll be heading out. Okay. We'll be heading back out at dawn, Pepe. Are you sure you don't need to get some sleep?
What about you, Mashi? You still standing watch this late?
I'm a demi-servant, so I'm fine going without sleep for a while.
Funny how you're okay without sleep, but the divine spirit servant over there apparently can't get enough. Well, that's okay. This works out nicely for me. Mind if I stand watch with you for a while?
No, that's fine with me.
That was only a pretense, of course. I was actually just waiting for a good chance to ask you this. Did you get a chance to talk to Ophelia?
Yes, I did. We didn't have a lot of time, but I still feel like we said a lot. Much more than we ever expressed to each other in Chaldea.
I'm glad to hear that. She always did want to have a good heart-to-heart with you, I could tell. So, what'd you talk about?
Well, one of our topics was Romans.
No way! Seriously? Aw, why I wouldn't give to have been a fly on the wall for that? I can't think of anything better than Ophelia talking about Romans. I can just imagine the three of us chatting over a nice cup of tea, hours passing the blink of an eye.
Do you know what happened to everyone, Pepe?
I heard what happened from Kshetra and the others, yes, but those are just boring old facts. That's not what I really want to know. That's why I want to ask you about them directly.
I see. I don't think there's anything I need to keep secret, so I'm happy to answer any questions you have.
Even though I'm a crypto? Even though I'm your enemy?
Yes, I remember that. Despite everything that's happened, we were still both members of Team A. That hasn't changed just because you're a crypto now, too.
I see. Well, thank you. I'm sure Kadak, Ophelia, and Akuda are frustrated by how things turned out, but I doubt they have any regrets. So they all fought bravely, huh? And here I am, just pathetically doing whatever I can to survive.
I don't think that's anything you need to feel bad about.
Hey, I'm still on the crypto side. I can't help but be frustrated too. No matter how hard it is to survive, I still find myself thinking there might have been a better way to end things. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to bring down the mood. If things don't go your way even after you've struggled as much as you can, your only choice is to give up and move on. I just had to come to terms with that again. That's just my lot in life, I'm afraid. Nothing I do ever quite seems to work out.
Really? But you've always seemed to me like you excel at everything you do.
That's only because I stick to things I know I can do. No, I'm talking about fate and destiny. But hey, that can be extremely motivating in its own right. And it's not like I've given up on everything, you know? Alright, I think it's time I got to bed. A complexion this perfect requires plenty of sleep. Besides, how could I look Ophelia in the eye if I neglected my own skin care after I kept admonishing her? Thank you for telling me what happened with the other cryptos, Mashi. Good night.
Of course. Good night, Pepe. Pure grassy plain. The queen of a walled village. Yeah, it's just the queen of walled village. Yeah. What happened? Second day of peaceful.
Damn sacred beast! Of all the luck, running into a huge pack of them like this?
It seems luck was not our side today. I was hoping we could pass them by without incident, but oh well.
I'm so sorry. I was so close to them that I ended up drawing my bow in fear.
Don't worry about it. The blame is partly mine for forgetting how it feels to hold a weapon for the first time. I'll need to reevaluate both the technical and mental aspect of our training program. At any rate, the rest of you hurry back to the village. I'll hold them off here. But no buts. We can't risk leading them towards the village. Besides, the more commotion we make, the more likely we are to be captured by the Lokapala we've been hearing rumors about. The Lokapala are said to serve God directly and have incredible power in their own right. The moment they find us, it's over. We can't let that happen. I could manage on my own if it came to that, but if you or the village caught the eye, it would be disastrous. So I want you all to head back to Divao ahead of me. And don't forget the supplies we collected.
But you can't possibly handle them all on your own.
Don't worry. My plan isn't to defeat them all. I'll just be buying us time, and I am well accustomed to trials of endurance. Besides, I already told you, I am not human. I am something else. Something with the power of 1,000 ordinary people. A shadow of humanity who manifested in this land by the grace of the rightful gods. I know this isn't the first time we've had to stay behind, but man, it sucks not being able to actually drive around in our vehicle. What's the point of even having it then?
Don't be ridiculous. If the enemy were to find and destroy the border, the jet would be well and truly up. Camouflage function or not, we still need to make sure we stay out of sight at all times. That mad dash we...
Okay.
That mad dash...
Shit, I spit it.
Okay. That mad dash we made to pick up the field team during the Kali Yuga was under the most extenuating of circumstances. There will be no repeat performance.
Yeah, I was just grumbling. I know you're right on this one, Gordy. Oh, just a moment. Do you think you can stop and hide in that tall grass over there? Yes, I'll set the Ortonax to silent mode. Please be quiet as you can, everyone. It was almost like watching a sacred beast parade. Luckily, they don't seem to have noticed us. Let's stay here and wait for them to pass.
They're certainly very pretty to look at. No wonder the people here call them agents of God.
They really are just like any other animal without any Kali around, huh? I wonder what they eat. Maybe we could use food to tame them. They're gone. Good. Then let's keep going. It shouldn't be much farther to our destination village. Foo-foo! I see something. That must be it over there. Thank goodness we didn't run into any trouble on the way. I like the wall they put up here. Gives the place a real freedom fighter vibe. The mayor Bichu did say they go around fighting Kali here. If anything, I would be surprised if their village wasn't fortified like this.
Come on, hurry!
It's us! Open the gate, quick! Those people seem to be in an awfully big hurry to get inside. I wonder what that was all about. Looks like we were far enough away from them that they didn't notice us. But did you see? They may have only been modified farm implements, but they were still carrying weapons. They really do seem to be different from the people of Bichu. We may well be able to learn something new here.
I think you're right. Let's go see.
They're not opening the gate for us.
And they're not answering when we knock either.
Hey! Open the gate for us! I'll have you know, most nations would be thrilled to have me pay them a visit. Let me see if I can hear anything from inside. Who was that? Is someone here?
Oh no! This is it! They found us! We're done for!
What did we do? What were we gonna do?
How should I know? There's no way we can fight them off on our own. We'll just have to keep the gate closed until she gets back.
I'm not sure why, but they sound very agitated.
Oh, I've got a bad feeling about this. And my bad feelings about this sort of thing have a way of always being right.
At least we know there are people inside. And since we're servants, we could probably just just jump over the wall we have to. Of course, just cause we can doesn't mean we... You there! What are you doing here?
What? A servant reading. Well, it seems luck is with you today, master. Of course, we aren't yet sure whether it is a good or bad luck. Wherever the servant is, they're headed your way at top speed. Be on your guard.
They just jumped clean over us and landed on top of the gate. It's a servant we'd never met before.
Well, that's too bad. It would have made things a lot simpler if you already knew each other.
I hate getting chewed out by strangers. It's like 100 times worse than when it's someone you know. What I'm trying to say is, this lady looks really pissed off at us. So maybe do something about that? That divine aura. Curses. Despite my best efforts, it looks like you finally found us. You must be the ones who served the false god, the Lokapala.
Huh? I think you've got the wrong idea.
Whoa, slow down. Us, the Lokapala? You must be joking.
Don't lie to me. It can't be a coincidence that you showed up now. Besides, I heard you planning to invade our village by jumping over these walls.
I have no idea what you're talking about, but I'm sure this is just a misunderstanding. I only mentioned jumping the wall to rule it out as a bad idea.
So you continue to lie to me? Very well. If you have finally learned of my existence, and the existence of this village that seeks to end the false god cycle, then so be it.
I will run and hide no longer. If the time has come to fight, then I shall rise to the challenge. Prepare yourselves, Lokapala. You will not be taking anything from me this day. Even if I must face a god, this time, I will make sure to defend my home to the very end.
David.
一気火星に畳みかける。
Okay,
いあ、
さようですか。
計略だ。罠だ。
守るべき者のために活路を開く。はあ。
じゃあこういうのどうだ。
沈ま
よいしょ。
actually, wait.
吉永さん。ご仮面。
いくぞ。
召喚ゼオン菩薩。私に力を。朝日の輝きを。オンアドリキャスターだ。
計略だ。
せい。活路を開く。活路を開く。一斉射撃。
Ooh, that hurts.
いける
お任せ。さよう
か。
ですか。
そうだね。
はっ。
What?
問うぜ。
活路を開く。はあ、活路を開く。
Okay.
つまんない連中だな。他にやることないの？
気楽に
行くぞ
気楽に。
さようですか。
罠だ。
共に戦おう。一斉射撃。活路を開く。一斉射撃。
じゃあこういうのどうだ？すべては僕の思う
教
ご加盟のままに。
ね。
じゃあやろうか。
これぞ大軍師の究極陣地。
君には改心する権利がある。では仕方ないな。ハメシュアーマニム。
耐える。
Are you kidding me?
召喚ゼオン菩薩、私に力を、朝日の輝きを、オンアロリキャスターだ。
You gotta be kidding me.
はあ、守るべき者のために活路を開く。
よいしょっと。気楽に気楽に。
お任せください。そっ託された女神の力、共に戦おう。一斉射撃。静まる。
Hmm.
はい、さようですか。燃えろ。
Oh, right, the guts. I forgot.
一斉射撃。一斉射撃。はあ、はい、お任せください。
そうだね。
これでも勝ちは勝ちだよな。うん。
Devar. So it says the queen of the wall village, right? Alright, it's time for Ah, damn it. Fucking party cost. Are you okay, wait a second. What is this one? Yeah, I guess I would cook that one. Yes, I'm aware. I'm well aware indeed. The box woman's up to something, isn't she? Then if I may, allow me to tell you something. Something of great importance. Oh, no, 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 no. Of course I would leave the decision of what to do with this information entirely in your capable hands. All I would humbly ask of you is your attention. That said, I must stress that depending on how things turn out, matters could grow very serious indeed. Why, what if my colleague with the foreign gods disciples ostensibly sent here to help you were to become the very sort of thing you cast out of your world?
Please, listen to us. The Lokapala are our enemy as well. We only came here in the hope of finding allies who could help us fight against them. Talk is cheap. I lost track of how many times someone claiming to be my friend betrayed me.
Hey, look, she's back! And she's fighting to protect us! We're saved! Then those aren't Lokapala! Damn it, they finally found our village! Please, my lady, help us! The Lokapala showed up right after we got back to the village. We've been barring the gate and holding out until you arrive.
There you see. I knew you couldn't be trusted.
Ah, what did I tell you? Misunderstandings only invite further misunderstandings. I've seen this sort of thing before, back in the clock tower. No, all of my life, really. I would look around one day and realize everyone had forsaken me, even though I didn't do anything wrong. Well, maybe that's not entirely accurate. There was this one time
Sorry, hon, but your life story is gonna have to wait. Okay?
The circumstances being what they are, she doesn't seem to truly be trying to kill us, but she's certainly very hard-headed. Her movements are as firm as her beliefs, it seems. Hey, Brahma, are you viewing this too? I am, it's faint, but she definitely has the air of a divine spirit. Maybe she's a pseudo-servant, like you? Good grief, I knew India had an expansive pantheon, but that can't be the answer for everything, can it? Expansive, alright. One does not generally run into a divine spirit at every corner, so to speak.
Forget that! How do we get her to listen to us? We'll never get anywhere if we don't clear up this misunderstanding.
I can't seem to get through to her, no matter what I say.
Fool! Well, are you gonna try to scale these walls? You need to do better than... Is that...
It looks like something caught her eye.
She seems to be looking at something far away. What's going on? Well, this is certainly less than optimal. I know you're in the midst of the battle, but I strongly urge you to take note of your surroundings, particularly what is behind you, immediately.
Behind us? Ah, yes, the wild beast.
What? Sacred beast? Huh? Wait, this pack looks kind of familiar. Are these the ones that passed us by earlier?
Those were going in a different direction, and I'm pretty sure they didn't notice us at all. Maybe there's something here that lured them this way.
A different group from the sacred beast we encountered earlier. Of all the times for them to show up. No, this is no coincidence. It only makes sense that the Lokapala would have the means to control them. They must be trying to make their way into our village and cleanse it. Especially since one of our elderly died this morning. Huh? Be gone, foul agents of the false god! You will not be claiming our debt today!
My, she does make for quite the striking figure, doesn't she?
She certainly does. She must be the manifestation of a noble heroic spirit, here to guide the people of this place along the right path. Oh. Huh? What happened? Did something knock her off the wall? No, it looked to me like she just sort of lost her footing. Now she's wriggling around where she fell. It looks like her feet are stuck in some hole in the ground. Curses. I can't believe I fell right into one of the pitfalls we dug to prepare for the next counterattack. Give me a moment. I'll be out of here in no time. Looks like they're pissed off about all the dramatic tension of evaporating. Though I could just be projecting there. We can't let the sacred beast hurt her while she's incapacitated. Let's take them down and keep her safe, master. Incapacitated. Okay, incapacitated.
You know it. Get him, guys.
Woo!
戦闘か。なるべくは避けたい行為だ。では通信。
Wait, who gets to have that?
Hmm. では通信。
私の踊り受けきれるかしら。オレ前例を見せる。
シャンシャンシャンシャンシャン。いいですね。聖夜を踊り明かしましょう。サンバのステップで仕掛けます。トップロープからのプレゼントスラムでフィニッシュね。ユカタンレガーラで涙。
Pain.
聖夜を踊り明かしましょう。せーの、これがサンバのリズムです。
Garuda, Dawan, Uchai Shrabas. Okay.
逃がしはしない。正面から受けて立つ。それが
いいですね。テンポを上げます。
この明かりは星の希望。地を照らす命の証。見るがいい。エクスカリバー。
せーの。
Okay, done. Okay. Fuck you, random crits. Random crits bullshit.
いいです。はい。
Wait.
お任せよ。いいですね。はい。
取った。風よ、舞い上がれ。負傷者の手当てを。戦いはまだ続きます。
All hostiles in our vicinity eliminated. Well done, everyone. Well, now do you understand we aren't your enemy? Yes, I do. I'm not so foolish as to insist otherwise at this point. I see now that I was gravely mistaken. No one who will fight against the sacred beast could possibly be allies of the false god. I am truly, sincerely sorry, and I thank you for your assistance. Please, tell me why you have come here. No, on second thought, it's only right that I tell you about myself first. Yes, you have a point. Alright then, let me first ask you this. Are you a divine spirit? Yes and no. I am a servant, but right now, a goddess resides within my body, sharing her power with me. When I was first summoned to this land, she was already there inside me. There have been plenty of cases where a divine spirit would inhabit a person from the past to become a servant. And since heroic spirit servants are technically people from the past, I guess it makes sense that a divine spirit could inhabit one of them too. Though I definitely haven't heard of many cases where it happened quite like this. I expect this because this god and I happen to share the same name. I believe having words, sounds, and names match is very significant when it comes to a magecraft. Then again, I was originally given this name in the hope of receiving her blessing, so perhaps it isn't much of a coincidence after all. You don't say? Okay, that makes sense.
So, what is that god's name?
Lakshmi. And I am the Rani of Jinashi, a land which once existed in India, who was named for her. My name is Lakshmi Bai.
Lakshmi Bai. You look like Janye, but a choco version. 'Cause your hair has braid. Okay. I gotta wait until that 9 p.m. passes. Because otherwise, I have to like skip it again. So let's take a look at it. So let me give you a short bit brief of it. This free-to-play account on my alternate. I gotta be honest with you. I never got anything out of an SR rider or SSR rider. That welfare servants, like riders for Ryoma Sakamoto and Ishtar, does not count towards that as an SR. They're just welfare servants, easier to get. Yeah, so it's kind of weird. I only got was like this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 riders. And I didn't get that much of a riders. I never got like, where were that? Martha, Marie Antoinette, Astolfo, and Francis Drake and stuff like that. It's all because of a gacha raid. That is, of course. Anyway, it's 9 o'clock. Log in daily. Right.
Lakshmi Bai. I would like to think that anyone would be a bit embarrassed to recount the history of their own life. No matter how proud of that life they may be. So that's why Holmes had been so unusually quiet. Alright then, I guess I'll... Lakshmi Bai is a hero from 19th century India known for her role in the Indian Rebellion. Oh, thanks for jumping in, Captain. Why don't you take it from here? Despite being born to royalty, she took up a sword and led a small rebel army in order to protect her nation of Jhansi. She was known far and wide for her leadership and charisma. At the time, revolts were breaking out all across India, under all manner of different circumstances. When one small state tried to revolt, the neighboring nations would often end up siding with the British, isolating the rebels and cutting them off from working with like-minded people in other regions. But the Jhansi rebels managed to hold out till the very end. And it was all thanks to their exceptional leader, Lakshmi Bai. I wouldn't call myself exceptional. I was just flailing around trying to hold everything together as best as I could. Between Kunwar, Sinj, Tatya Tope, and many others I could name, there were no end of leaders more talented than me. All that aside, you sound like you know a lot about our struggle. Are you Indian yourself? I'm nobody. Just another nameless. Doesn't matter where I'm from. I'm done now. Over and out.
While we're at it, we should probably also go over your divine spirit, Lakshmi.
though I'm sure Ganesha and Rama know a lot more about her than I do. In Indian mythology, Lakshmi is known as a goddess of fortune, prosperity, beauty, and a consort of Vishnu. Right. That's right. Then, could it be? I am avatar of Vishnu, and Sita an avatar of Lakshmi. Sita, are you in there? I'm sure if you are, I'll be able to feel your presence. I'm guessing this is clear to all of you as well, given that her grip on my skull is strong enough the bones are starting to crack. But unfortunately, I sense no trace of Sita inside her. Who is this man, advancing on a woman he's never met before as if to propose to her? Do you mind if I break him? I understand how you feel, but please go easy on him. Rama has his own complicated history. I see. I suppose I can't blame him for misunderstanding. I should have been more precise. The goddess Lakshmi exists within me more as a power source than anything else. I can barely sense her consciousness at all. It's almost as though her heart has been implanted in me to provide me with energy. I doubt my output can measure up to that of an unadulterated divine spirit. So I'm afraid I am not a manifestation of the goddess Lakshmi so much as my core is that of a human, Rani Lakshmi Bai, with small elements of the goddess. Then, Sita really doesn't exist inside you, as I suspected. Right, of course she doesn't. Now that I think about it, if she had, I would have sensed her well before you introduced yourself. But I was not even able to tell that the deity within you was Lakshmi. You must have only her divine power and nothing of her consciousness. Ganesha didn't realize who you were either. Of course, that might be because he was never very close to you, seeing as how you're just as up there in the pantheon as his mom, Parvati. Ganesha. Yes, now that you mention it, I do sense a divine presence inside you. One I would never in a million years have guessed by looking at you. Yeah, I know, but it's true. Believe me, I've spent pretty much this entire time wishing all this were just some weird joke. And I am Rama, the king of Kosala. Surely you've heard of me, as well as my beloved Sita? Oh, of course! There's not a soul in India who doesn't know your name. Forgive me, I thought you were just an, unusually youthful young man who hadn't yet learned how to behave around women.
Maybe now is a good time to share our side?
Good point. We have a bunch of things we need to tell you about. Who we are, how we got here, what we're trying to do. It's a long story, but I hope you'll bear with us. And I think that's about sums it up.
Hold it! What about me? I thought you were saving the most important figure in our group for the end, so as to make a lasting impression.
Yes, this is Gordov Musek, who I absolutely, positively, definitely didn't forget to introduce. Nope. As you can probably tell from his sheer his dignified stature, he's our commander-in-chief.
Indeed I am. A stout build is the mark of a true elite after all. As the commanding officer here, I expect you to treat me with all due respect.
I have one question for you. Are you British?
No, I'm not.
What about you?
Me? Oh, that would be telling, hon. You've got to get to know me better first. I suppose I can at least tell you that no, I'm not British either, though I did spend a good bit of time at the clock tower.
Oh boy. Well, there's one last person in our group I should introduce you to. Sorry, Holmes, the check is up. You can't keep hiding forever. I assure you, I was doing no such thing. I was only waiting for a more opportune moment once things had settled down. Good day, Miss Lakshmi Bai. Sherlock Holmes, detective, at your service. Are you British? Yes, I am.
Is that a problem?
The Indian Rebellion was... Well, it was a war for India's independence against its colonizers, the British. And since Lakshmi Bai lost her life in that conflict, I imagine she has some strong feelings about it. Though I do get the impression there's someone else here with some connection to that. Oh well, guess it's not my place to say anything here. I was only a few years old when that war broke out. So while I can't personally apologize for my country's actions... No, it's alright. I'm sorry, that was rude of me. There's a little sense in my asking that. It's just an old habit. One I can't seem to shake. You have nothing to apologize for. It's not for me to say whether you should or shouldn't feel that way. Nor is it for me to say whether you should hold on to those feelings or try to forget them. All I can say for sure is that our country's histories are intertwined. Certainly neither of us can pretend otherwise. If this hadn't come up now, Sopras would no doubt have noticed the air of discomfort between us, and gone on to learn what happened between our countries for himself. If there is any meaning to be found by having people from the past come together like this, besides the role we play as servants, of course, I suspect it lies there. Agreed. I will think of you as no more than a man by the name of Sherlock Holmes. Besides, under these circumstances, the more allies we have, the better. Then, does that mean you considered us allies? It was difficult to convince the people of Deval of the wrongness of the situation. But once I did, they agreed to work together to forge their own destiny. Their village here is now the base for all such like-minded people. As you are warriors fighting against God, just like us, I would be honored if you fought at our side.
It's a deal.
Whoa! I guess the counterforce might have summoned you too. Have you been here long? Yes, I'd say it's been at least 10 days since I arrived. Then you must have been caught in the world's recreation a number of times. How did you survive?
God or not, remaking this entire Lostbelt is a major undertaking. Arjuna wouldn't change how he goes about it just because a servant's been added to the mix. So long as he doesn't think of you as unnecessary or defective, I expect he'd just bring you back along with all the other people. It just galls me thinking how our very survival in this Lostbelt is completely dependent on his absurdly arbitrary standards.
It's natural for gods to be somewhat self-centered given their immense power, but Arjuna definitely takes it too far.
Oh, speaking of which, you should know he's already got his eye on us. So if you join us, you're sure to wind up with the whole evil label, and you won't be able to survive the world being remade anymore.
That's fine. It could only have been a matter of time before you took notice of me anyway. Besides, you have a way to evade the destruction, yes? So if it comes to that, I'll be counting on your help. You mean the border? Yes, of course you'd be welcome to join us in there. Wouldn't she?
The border is the last bastion of hope for all of humanity. We can't just go letting any old servant we meet on it. Under ordinary circumstances anyway. But in this case, I suppose we do have a fair handle on her true name and background. And it would be a shame to lose a valuable ally so soon after finding one. Very well. I'll authorize your entry into the border in case of emergency.
You have my gratitude.
Of course, ideally, I hope to be quite finished with this place long before he even uses that preposterous noble phantasm of his again.
You said it, honey. Fortunately, he only ever does that at the end of the Kali Yuga. So it would be just PG if we could put a stop to all this before then.
So, now that we've got a new ally in O, what's our next step? I've already got something in mind for that. There are risks involved, naturally, but the reward should be significant. Now that we're in the middle of the first, relatively peaceful Yuga, and especially now that we have more allies, this would seem to be the perfect time to investigate one thing in particular.
What's that?
Remember that thing we've been wondering about ever since we came to this Lostbelt? is the biggest, most mysterious thing here by far, and it's got to contain some useful information. Now, we want you guys to finally go and investigate it. God Skyboulder. Right.
Skirts of the Skyboulder. Okay, give me 1 second. Oh shit, I can't find mine. Look at that expression. Why am I even here? Oh, wait. Switch it around. On the third day of a nice, beautiful Yuga. So, you don't know what God Skyboulder is either then, Lakshmi? No, I don't. It was there when I was first summoned here, and it hasn't changed at all in this time since. At least, I don't think it has. I haven't been watching it this whole time, so I can't say for certain.
Well, I have been watching it this whole time, so I can. It definitely never changed.
Since we have been actually asked, you don't know what it is either, correct?
That's right. I just noticed there was a big, weird cube in this Lostbelt, and didn't think anything more of it. I mean, sure, I consider investigating it and getting rid of it in case it turned out to be something dangerous, since it is so bizarre and all. But I hadn't the slightest idea how to go about it, so I decided to just keep an eye on the thing. Not to mention David told me I was better off leaving it alone. Don't dismiss something before you've seen its true nature, huh? True, if I did, I'd be no better than Arjuna.
It was the same with me. I didn't know what it was, so I couldn't do anything about it. I could see that giant tree in the cube no matter where I went, but I had more pressing matters to attend to. Rather than bother with something I knew nothing about, I figured my time would be better spent helping the people here who had been led astray by the unjust God. That is very admirable of you, but are you sure it's okay to leave that village unattended? They should be fine during their early Yugas, especially while there are barely any Kali around. They have weapons now, even if they were hastily assembled, and I taught them how to fight as best I can. They should be able to handle themselves in a pinch. The only thing I'm worried about right now are the sacred. There. It's another pack of sacred beasts, Master. Let's hide and wait for them to pass again.
It's not just sacred beast. There's something else there, next to the road. Wait, is that a person?
I'm not picking up any vital signs. I'm afraid it's a dead body. Perhaps they died of disease or in an accident. Why are you going over to it? Damn, we're too late. The body's disappearing. So you didn't know then? That's one of this world's mistakes. The sacred beasts purify the bodies of anyone who happens to die unexpectedly. My guess is the false god thinks dead bodies don't belong out in the world and wants them gone as soon as possible.
I see. So if this world was a single entity, the sacred beasts are the white blood cells of its immune system. Since we can assume this world's god would be the head, the sacred beast must be its macrophages created to detect, isolate, and remove any foreign elements. So then, does that mean the Kali they fight are something like a virus? Most intriguing.
Whatever the case, people are people. When they die, they shouldn't just be cleaned up like trash. Their karma should determine what they become in their next life. At least, that's what my people believe. That's what a true samsara cycle is meant to be. We cremate dead bodies to free their souls and ensure they go on to their next life without issue. But here, as long as the sacred beasts are around, nobody will be able to hold a proper cremation. If this world has no respect for the journey of the dead, and no hope for those who are left behind, then it is nothing but a world of death. So that's why you were concerned about the sacred beast showing up in Deval? Because of one of your elderly has passed away? Right, he was an old man whose time had come. There was nothing anyone could do about that. But I didn't want the false god stealing our right to give him a proper farewell. You really helped us out there.
They're finally leaving.
If they haven't already spotted you, then I would urge you to hold back for now. You're almost to God's sky boulder, and I would very much prefer to avoid making a commotion wherever possible.
I know. I would have stopped them if I had found the body first, but as things stand now, my only choice is to let them go. We should be okay now. I'm certain the sacred beast can't detect us from this far away. Good. I'm glad I didn't have to sneeze while we were hiding. Let's go. Wow, I knew she was cool and collected, but I didn't know she also had such a charming sense of humor.
My, seeing this close up really makes you realize just how big it actually is, doesn't it? Ooh, I've got an idea. Why don't we take a little group photo to commemorate the occasion?
Pepe! Was that a joke, or were you just trying to avoid facing the reality of our situation? Either way, it wasn't funny.
If you want to pick, go ahead and take all the selfies you want. Just don't come running to me if the whole thing turns into a jump scare. Foo!
Aw, you guys are no fun. I was just trying to lighten the mood a little.
So, these numbers we're seeing are accurate, right? Our sensors aren't on the fritz or anything, right? That's right. We made it to the area near the cube without a problem, but... Where did all these Kali come from? I thought there were barely supposed to be any during the Kshetra Yuga. I think it's the place, not the time. They're showing up as though they've just been here all along, rather than coming from somewhere else. Be that as it may, the sheer number of them is almost absurd. There are as many here as there were during the Kali Yuga. Maybe even more.
Hey, I've got an idea. Why don't we just run away? Seriously!
You have a point. We can't investigate the cube with all these Kali around. Annoying since we just got here. If they surround us, we'll have nowhere to go.
True, we can only take so many risks when it comes to safety, and there's certainly nothing to be gained by attempting to complete an impossible goal.
Guess we don't have any other choice. Understood. We'll break through the Kali behind us and make a run for it. Awaiting your orders, Master.
目障りだ。
Alright. So there's about 8 enemies away.
よかろう。いいですね。あがくな。せい。まだまだ。
Okay. Okay, random crits bullshit. Off to a bad start. Pulling in original Artoria.
よかろう。いいですね。ふっ。取った。
じゃあこういうのどうだ。つまんの連中だな。他にやることないの。
総員突撃準備。消えるがいい。あまりに脆い。な、お任せよ。費用鉄槌。極光は反転する。光を飲む。エクスカリバーモルガーン。逃がしはしない。ええ、お任せよ。はい。束ねるの星の息吹。輝ける命の本流。生けるがいい。エクスカリバー。
Alright, yo, fuck.
正面から受けて立つ。
Don't you fucking survive.
じゃあこういうのどうだ。
よかろう。なまれ。あがくな。
これでも勝ちは勝ちだよな。うん。
I think original Artoria is about to get bombed out, I believe. I'm not sure.
Okay, I think that's enough distance between us and them.
I never imagined there would be that many cavalry gathered there. I expected it might be dangerous, but with numbers like that, adding one more to our ranks still won't be enough to fend them off.
You don't have to rub it in. I wish my noble phantasms were capable of blasting them all away at once too.
My apologies. I assure you I was not speaking sarcastically. I was merely reflecting on my failure to foresee a situation like this.
I see. That's all. No, I'm sorry. I was being oversensitive. While we're on the subject, this seems a good chance to tell you this. Naturally, I will do everything in my power to accomplish our mutual goal. I have no intention of holding back. But I should warn you, for your own safety, you shouldn't expect me to come through when it really counts. I have never truly been able to accomplish the things I most wish to do. That is just my lot in life.
Well, that's a strange opinion to have of oneself. Perhaps her failure to defend her country in life had a traumatic effect on her. Be that as it may, there is no doubt whatsoever that you are far more useful in combat than a detective in a remote location. So I hope you will continue to lend Mr. Sulfrost your aid.
Of course I will. I would be pleased if you trusted me on that much. Anyway, there really were a ridiculous number of Cowley there. Lends the impression that it may be even more important to this Lostbelt than we thought. Indeed, it was as though those Cowley were those solely to guard the Sky Boulder. The fact that we can no longer see them after putting just a little distance between us and the Sky Boulder would only seem to confirm that. I wonder what this could mean. For that matter, we still don't know what those Cowley demons actually are. I'm guessing Holmes is probably right in that they're like a virus infecting this world, in opposition of the sacred beast. But still, we have not the slightest idea what they are, where they come from, or where they go.
I don't know either, but I can say they're not any ordinary kind of creature. Given that they stick around even after the world is remade, maybe Arjuna uses them as a means to determine who is worth preserving. Or maybe they just remain here out of necessity. If it's the latter, that would mean they're a crucial part of the stage Arjuna uses us to run this world. So if we defeat him, maybe they'll all just go poof.
I guess this means we've just got to figure out what to do about Arjuna.
At least, we now know that God's Sky Boulder is protected by vast numbers of Cowley and can't be approached lightly. It may not be much, but it is more than we knew before. In the meantime, I suggest we return to Divel and plot our next course of action.
Or is it Dival or Divel? Or I would say Dival, I would say how you pronounce that. Not Divel. I don't know, it's like Divel or Dival. Because some reason like Genshin Impact, you would say like Diluc or Diluc. Or even like Shang Li. Okay, well. Hard to rhyme with that I though. Return back. God's commander. Okay, give me 1 second. I'm just checking my phone. Okay. Oh, I remember this part. I was speed running for that. It's the one that is an alter version of Neza. Okay. Anger, fury, rage is all I've got. Goddamn bastard. Serving memories are weird. Doesn't matter if they're from before your current body's age or after. Everything that ever happened to you while you were alive comes flooding into your head all at once. They're simultaneously your own memories and the recollections of a complete stranger. Facts you know to be true, and lies no more real than a dream. I think that's why I remember. Why I know what I once did. I remember the end of the war. When I heard that... what the heck is this? Dristad Yumnas. Dristad Yum... Okay,
Drish Tad Yumna's cowardly plot had succeeded, that my father had been killed. I remember when I heard that Bhima, the heck is this guy? Bhima had cheated to inflict a fatal wound on Duryodhana. Okay, Duryodhana, the oldest of the 100 Kaurava princes. Everything inside of me vowed them that I would make them pay. Rage? I swore I would exact revenge on them by any means necessary. So I chose to sneak in under the cover of night and murder all of my enemies in their sleep. You think that cowardly, criminal, an affront to all that is good and just? I don't care. I don't care. I don't care! I was so angry I didn't care about anything else. I think that's when I threw away everything in me besides fury. I let my fury swallow me whole until I was nothing more than a beast, a vessel of pure rage. To put it another way, that was the moment when Ashvath the man became no more than anger incarnate. So of course, the peaceful scenery of the Kshetra Yuga only infuriates him. The sweet scent of pollen, the sun's gentle rays, the birds' happy chirping. His only response to it always grow ever more enraged. Everything he sees and doesn't see makes him angry, but the things that anger him most are those he sees both constantly and never. He is always angry. Always. There we go. That takes care of the lost, out-of-season Kali. Guess you can't even go through the Kshetra Yuga without running into at least one. You know, there were always some dumb beast up in the mountains who'd forget to hibernate for the winter too. I'd always hunt them whenever I happened to see one. There's no telling what sort of trouble a dumb beast could get up to. Clearing away otherwise unfair or impossible obstacles is just part of the job.
Thank you for saving me, God. It showed up so suddenly, and I haven't been praying since the still Kshetra Yuga.
Ah, don't worry about it. And I'm not a god, just a hired hand.
Huh?
Oh, sorry, you don't have to worry about that either. Anyway, you did great holding it together. I'm proud of you.
Oh man, I can't believe a god is pounding my head. Are you a god too? Admonishment, you are late for the meeting. I had no choice but to come get you.
Whoops, is it that time already? Sorry about that. Well, see you later, son.
Oh, bye. Thank you again. Do you like kids?
Who can say? Hey, sorry I'm late.
I cannot believe you made me carry you with my wind fire wheels.
Well, I had a great time. Thanks for the thrill ride. Of course, a lot of those thrills were more chills at the idea of showing up here late. I'm just a regular guy. I'm not nearly important enough to keep a mythological hero waiting, let alone a god.
Advice, there's no point saying what do you not mean. Besides, you're something of a mythological hero yourself now.
Anyway, I hate to steal the spotlight after showing up late to the party, but I've got something to discuss. I was hoping Ashvath the man could help with this, but I guess he's not here.
Answer, I cannot predict his actions. Our masters allows him to act freely. Thus, I have no intention of picking him up.
Guess I'll just have to talk to you guys about this then, if that's alright with you. Anyway, I just noticed a little while ago that there's fewer sacred beasts in my area than there's supposed to be.
Query, you think it is them?
Probably. I'm guessing they have a way of surviving the big guy's noble phantasm. Don't you find it interesting? Seeing how you overcame death to yourself. What? Don't be ridiculous. That's just reconstruction. It has nothing to do with the concept of death. I couldn't care less about it. So no, I don't find it interesting. Besides, I'm sure that guy there already knew. He just didn't say anything. Well, yes, that's true. It is almost certainly the case that they managed to escape to a safe zone. But regardless,
The fact remains that lopers who would interfere with the god's sandbox, I mean his beautiful Ray, have survived. That strikes me as a grave problem. A very grave problem indeed, no? There, as you can see, he agrees with me quite vehemently. Indeed, as no Kapala whom he personally embedded with divinities. Surely you understand that much without the likes of me spelling it out, no? Now then, what do you plan to do about this? Well, I've just been planning to point Ashford the man in that direction and let him go nuts. But if he's not here, he must be off on another job. Yes, that he is. I believe he's dealing with a little unfinished business on our end. Guess that means we'll just have to take care of this ourselves then.
Proposal, I will go. Not only do I have time to address the issue, but I also let them escape once. I will finish this.
Want some help?
No need.
Great. Less work for me. Just to be perfectly clear, I'm not going either. I've got plenty keeping me busy.
Response, I never expected you to come. Departing now. Wind fire wheels!
What a go-getter she is! How wonderful! What a pleasure to see such world-class mobility in person. I'm sure you won't let us down, Kubera, region of the North.
I finally have another chance. I have changed since then. Resolution. I will not let them get away this time.
Damn, so we can't even get close to God Skyboulder. And here I thought this would be our big breakthrough. I was hoping we'd find a way to take Arjuna down there. So much for that.
I knew it. I knew this wasn't gonna work out. It never fails. On a rare occasion I ever try to actually put a little effort into something, I just end up getting reminded of what a failure I am. That's pretty much me in a nutshell. Waste of space.
It's not your fault it didn't work out, Ganesha. None of us expected there to be that many Kali there.
Exactly. Moping won't do you any good, hun. Let's try to stay positive, okay?
There are limits to that.
And getting past those limits is what separates the children from the grown-ups. It's like remembering to be grateful for the things you already have. That's a pretty important ability in my book.
Foo-foo!
For my part, I was a century fighting this battle alone until all of you came along. Now there's a chance, even if it's just a small one, for us to go on the offensive. I think that's progress in itself. Why don't we rest up for a while? Maybe that will help a good idea come to us.
Lady Lakshmi, welcome back!
Thanks for standing guard. Anything to note?
No, everything's been the same as usual here.
I see you're all armed here, unlike Ajay and the other people in Bishu. I guess those rumors about you fighting the Kali off, instead of just praying, were true.
You must be Lady Lakshmi's companions. Yes, that's right. I'm afraid Lady Lakshmi had to explain it to us many times before we understood, but eventually, we realized that there's something strange about this world, that we didn't like it here.
This has been the way things are for as long as you've known. I'm sure it wasn't easy to see them differently.
I think I once had someone I loved more than anything, but I can't even remember the name or the face.
Whoever it was must have been killed by a Kali in the past Yuga. Anyone who Arjuna considers defective, unnecessary, or evil disappears when a new Yuga begins, as if they never even existed. But it makes sense that it would be exceptionally complex to adjust every single parameter in the world that pertains to the people who disappear. I guess not even Arjuna can completely erase their remnants, the holes they leave behind in the hearts of the people who cared for them.
Some of us realized they lost someone when they saw the gifts their loved one gave them in their homes. At first, it only feels like something is vaguely off, but in time, you start to remember them more clearly, especially if they left behind in letters, which some did.
Oh my, That's surprisingly careless of him, leaving behind so many physical records like that. Although, maybe Konyanskaya is the one behind sadistically cruel touches like that. I certainly wouldn't be put it past her.
Man, only being able to have remember someone you care about sounds rough. That is, way worse than Asha just forgetting about her dog.
Yes, it's painful. Not being able to remember someone who once meant so much to you. Unbearably so. That's why I decided to fight back. I think everyone else in our village more or less feels the same. Lady Lakshmi is the one who taught us how to fight. Any friends of hers are friends of ours. Please, come inside. We don't have much, but you're welcome to...
I appreciate a kind offer, but it's better if we stay out of your village for now.
Indeed. Oh, don't misunderstand. We're very happy to accept your invitation. But we can't very well bring along another guest who was definitely not invited. Update. Target spotted. Neza. Warning. Do not call me that. You may know another Nessa, but I am not her. Yeah, she's right. That isn't a Neza, you know. That isn't a Neza, you know, or the one we came here with. She's still Crown Prince Neza, Marshal of the Central Altar. But this one serves Arjuna as one of his Lokapala. So that is one of False God's servants. The rumors I've heard state they like to brag about how he shares his divine power with them. Affirmation. Yes, he has been given each of us one of his many divinities. If he is a false god, then so are we. Conclusion. That is all I need to know. If you would refuse to obey his laws, then I cannot stand idly by. Assertion. Divine punishment is required here. I guess we can't talk this out then.
Alright, Peperoncino. This is your time to shine. You said she ran off to pursue you back at the mountain where we found Ganesha, yes? Then your job is to draw her attention away from us once more.
I'm pretty sure that's not gonna work out now. Last time she didn't see you guys as a threat. I don't think that's the case anymore.
Affirmation. That man is no longer my sole target. You are now all equally high priority targets. I will not let any of you escape.
See?
But why? Even if you are a different aspect of her that was summoned, or were embedded with divinity, you're still Neza, aren't you? And the Neza we knew always had a strong sense of justice. In this world, the only measure of something's value is whether God deems it worthy or not. He's the sole arbiter of what should and should not be. I think that's inherently unjust. It disparages the value in feelings, memories, life, and death alike. So then, how can you?
Oh my, that was certainly heartfelt. She really has learned how to express her anger. You are a product of mankind's arrogance and rationalism, so while I'm glad to see such emotion from you, it makes me a bit nervous. Your innocence was your greatest source of strength. Once that's gone, what would you have gained instead?
Nessa, please tell me something. What do you think of this world? Answer unnecessary. Commencing attack.
We're not going to go down without a fight.
You got it, Master. I can't let you return to your false god now that you know about our village. Prepare to die.
You do realize saying stuff like that totally makes you sound evil, right? Anyway, Neza's a figure in Journey to the West and the investiture of the gods, right? I think some people also call her Nazha. Oh man, I can't believe I'm up against someone so famous. But then again, I guess Ganesha's right up there too, huh? Alright, fine. I'll just put in a pico effort, like usual.
Pico effort?
It's a word I came up with. It means my unusual willingness to try, my usual hopelessness. my wish to avoid responsibility. It's basically our sorts of feelings rolled up into one big old mess, okay? Get with it!
戦いは苦手だが、これもまた世界の断りですか。
技能を使用。私は悪くない。いけない子だわ。
これでどうかな。
Are you fucking kidding me?
はい。
よし。
せい。
罠だ。無駄だ。
技能を使用。技能を使用。やっ。お祈りしましょう。
では行くぞ。
つまんない連中だな。他にやることないの？じゃあこういうのどうだ？
マスターは悪い。やってみる。
Just buff removal. Okay, cool. Ouch. So this fourth turn.
つまんない連中だな。他にやること
これ
ないの？
でどうかな。ではお見せしましょう。
やってみる。
罠だ。
技能を使用。
全ては僕の思うままってね。
技能を使用。
Ouch.
では行くぞマス
Battle ends right there. After that MP, there's absolutely no way I can do this. Quick little defense buff. Now here comes the tough part right there. Let's just try that corner. I'm trying to think. I still want to protect my shit. Maybe Leonidas? And then Camland. Because I need to protect my most allies though. And then some cuckoo line will be in the last man standing. And then that for Merlin. For Team White Party. I felt like I should use the yeah, maybe this one. There we go.
How can she have so many noble phantasm? What's going on here?
I don't think those are noble phantasm. They're probably Baobei depicted in the investiture of the gods, so I can understand why she has them. But the Naza we know has never exhibited this kind of fighting ability. There's something else going on here. She does say that Arjuna shared one of his divinities with her. I suspect the key lies there. This is no natural divine spirit amalgamation, like we've seen in Seatonai. This is a case of divine elements simply being fused into an existing being. As difficult as it may be to believe, if one of Arjuna's divinities is truly able to coexist with the servant spirit origin, that would indeed explain this remarkable increase in her power and abilities.
Assuming he gave her one of the Lokapala regions tasked with defending different directions, I'd say Kubera's probably at the top of the list of possibilities. Kubera's the gods of wealth and treasure, so that would explain why she has such an abundance of power now.
I've never heard that name before.
Not well known in your neck of the woods, huh? Trust me, he's a very important god in India. There are all sorts of stories about him, but they all agree that he was the guardian of the north. He was also known as Dhanapati, the lord of wealth, and as and as Vajravana, son of Vishrava. Though in Japan, he might be better known as Tamonten or Bishmamoten.
Kubera. I think he was Ravana's half-brother. As I recall, he battled Ravana only to lose both the fight and control over the island of Lanka. And in that case, he has some connection to me as well. Or rather, to Sita.
Also, oh, maybe that's why he's such a good match for Nez.
Request, shut up. There is no need to explain. We are here to fight. Still, I will tell you one thing. The divinity of the god of wealth does reside within me. Declaration. Therefore, this can only end in defeat. Oh, crayfish, another OP item? Not fair! She's stacked out in legendary gear, and I'm still in my starting equipment.
Gods have immense power far beyond ordinary beings. That's what makes them gods. If this Nazat really has been given a divinity, it would definitely explain how she got so absurdly strong. But it's so sad. I can barely stand to watch.
「大丈夫、私にお任せください。技能を使用。
では行くぞ。
罪人はどなた？
いいでしょう。
やってみる。ズバッといきます。
せい。
えい。はあ。技能を使用。
これでどうかな。
私は悪くない。やってみる。ダメだから。来ないで。技能を使用。
Alrighty then.
罪人はどなた？ああ、神様。これだけは使いたく。ズバッといきます。
Oh, I shouldn't use that, but
我が手に白金の鍵あり。虚無より現れ、その指先で触れたもん。我が父なる神よ。クリフォーン大
but then I still have to do it though.
控えめに言って本気を出します。最果ての光を、私にボーナスを。セイバーシスレシダブル X ダイナミック。はあ。技能を使用。
Uh-oh.
やあ、アウチアウチ。はっ。技能を使用。
Okay.
では行くぞ。お任せ。ほっ。
ダメだから。来ないで。技能を使用。技能を使用。
What? Oh, right. Let's see. All allies lose 5,000. Oh, shit.
いい。はい。
ズバッといきます。
てや。
ポーン。技能を使用。
これでどうか。
技能を使用。
gets stunned, and she's stunned one of my servants. So we both get stunned. That's cool.
はい
やってみるダメだから来ないで技能を使用
Oh shit. Alright. They're still invincible. That's cool.
これだ
Both of them are invincible, but I don't know if they're gonna get a remove debuff.
ズバッといきます勤務時ズバッといきますダブル取り調べな来いアーバロン
Gonna get afterburn damage. Thank God for Giorgio.
技能を使用勤務時間ですねポーアウチセイ
ムン
はっアウチ
Ouch. Oh boy. Shit.
お任せ夢のような形 何事もやればできるさ
マスター
There's gonna be a little bit gamble right there.
我が手に白金の鍵あり虚無より現れその指先で触れたもん我が父なる神よクリフォーナイスダメだから来ないでアウチ技能を使用
Of course they have to do this.
私は悪くないしばしお待ちを夏といえばカレーですので
I'm going for it.
エーテル宇宙のフォーリナー早期銀すなわちコスモスエーテル宇宙しかるの秩序行くぞツインミミラドリザスター
I got him. I got him.
アウチ見直しましたか
Oh my god.
ちょっとシリアスになればこんなものですえへん
My god. Oh, so close to level right there. The Mystic Code. You've noticed too, haven't you, Master? That fight was clearly Neza. Why? That was an incredible display of wealth and fortune. It almost makes me envy you, but
You took it too far. Even with all your abundance, you were spending it faster than you could replenish it.
You know, I thought the way you were burning through your items seems familiar. You were doing it on purpose.
you went out of your way to use more of your power than necessary. You made sure to use so much that not even a god of wealth could recover from the loss. Why?
Kubera is the god linked to my father.
Huh?
In China, Crown Prince Neza's father is known as Tuo Tai Li Tiang Wang, aka Pagoda bearing Heavenly Kin Li, aka Li Jing. And in Japan, Li Jing is considered to be the same as the figures I mentioned before, Tamil, Tamonten, and Bishamonten. There's a lot of cross-pollination between Taoist lore and Buddhist myth when it comes to gods like these, so it can be difficult to make sense of. But the long and short of it is, we can be sure that Li Jing and the Hindu god Kubera are one and the same.
And I, of course, have a connection to my father. Confusion. There is something inside a Jew I hold in my chest. I do not know what to call these feelings I hold towards my father.
What does all that mean?
The details are a little different between Journey to the West and the Investiture of the Gods. But basically, Nessa was born with tremendous power and wrecked a lot of things even as a baby. Her father acted in anger and fear, and Nessa lost her body as a result. She was later reborn into a new being thanks to the Buddha and Tai Yi Zenren. Well, the real story might be more complicated than that, but that's an accurate picture of the central relationships. Plus, they say Nessa's father is still afraid of her power, so...
I am Crown Prince Neza, Marshal of the Central Altar. I am not Li Jing. It is therefore impossible for me to tell what I think and feel now that both beings have been combined within me. But I can be certain about this. It is not right for Li Jing to exist inside Neza. It is utterly preposterous. Truth, such a being can never be me. Truth, that is not how I am meant to function.
That's why you burn yourself out. You're gonna accept what you become.
But why take such a, roundabout approach to suicide?
Good point. If you wish to end your life, you could have done so many other number of ways. For example, you could have fought back against the god who made you that way with all of your might. Since he trusted you enough to bestow you with power, you should have had plenty of chance to attack him if you chose.
I consider that, of course, but deem it impossible. His divine power is just too great. And if I lost, he might decide to erase my consciousness for being defective. Then I would truly become nothing more than a puppet with Neza's body and Kubera's power. Conclusion, that would be a fate worse than death.
If you ended up as a berserker thanks to that violent side of you being the most prevalent in your manifestation, that would probably also mean that your feelings about your father are stronger and fresher than the usual Neza, which would explain why you just didn't want to deal with it.
Yes, I try not to think about it at first. I buried my feelings deep down and did my best to forget them. But then, I saw her.
Oh, Neza.
The moment I saw her, it felt like I had been cursed. I was overcome with rage and hatred and envy. So much so that I couldn't stop myself from destroying her. I could not stand the idea of another me, a true me, being out there. I could not accept it, but destroying her did nothing to lift my curse. I could no longer ignore my incompleteness. I could no longer stand how ugly I was. That's why I did this. Elaboration. It was not you who destroyed me. I destroyed me.
I can't say I approve of what you did, but I can't understand it.
That is fine. If nothing else, I was able to avoid the worst possible outcome. For that, I thank you. But I will not apologize. The one to whom I should apologize is no longer here. The vest should just disappear. For the first time, I understand that logic. The defectiveness mixed with her father will disappear. That is how it should be. Salvation. I will not return in the next Yuga. You're a servant of that god. You have no right to say that. My lover is gone now. How dare you say they were defective? How dare you say they deserve to disappear? Apology. I have no way of knowing that. All I am saying is, for those of us ashamed of our defectiveness, getting to disappear can be a kind of salvation.
Hang on. If you're very grateful to us, then give us some info before you disappear. It can be about anything. Are you not the other Lokapala? Oh, we want to know about God Skyboulder too.
That giant cube. Truth. Unknown. I know nothing about it either. Nor do I know who might know something.
Damn, I was afraid you'd say something like that.
The Lokapala are servants that he has bestowed with divinities. If you defeat them, those divinities should disperse, like mine is.
So we can whittle down their forces by taking them out, huh? That's definitely good to know. Whenever we inevitably face off with Arjuna, not having to also fight 3 servants of godly power at the same time will be a huge help. Can you tell us anything about the other Lokapala?
Answer: Ashvatha man is a special case. He goes around on his own, fighting battles in place of Arjuna. The others watch over different regions. They sometimes assemble under Arjuna's orders, but in general, they keep to the assigned area. There are other 3 Lokapala, so each one covers a wide swath of land. I do not know what happened to the gods who were originally meant to guard the different directions.
There are supposed to be 8 Lokapala, 1 for each cardinal direction. I wonder if the divinities are still inside Arjuna because he doesn't need them. What do all of you Lokapala do exactly? And which directions do you oversee?
Answer: We watch over people, guard against revolt, and take care of the sacred beast. My territory stretches over everything, from the north to the southeast. The old man handles everything from the north to the southwest, and the young man handles everything from the southeast to the southwest. The old man is William Tell, an archer, and the young man is Asclepius, a caster.
Okay. Let's finish this before I'm gonna head off to bed. William Tell. Sweet, we got his true name. Times may have changed, but he's still one of the most famous archers in history. Maybe we should look for a few apples he can shoot off your head.
As a rule, servants are usually summoned in their prime. So his middle-aged appearance must be because that time in his life is when his skills were at their peak.
And then there's Asclepius. That must be the servant in the hood. He was one of the Greek heroes who sailed on the Argo. He's known as the father of medicine, and he's still worshipped in some circles today. Interestingly, none of these heroic spirits have any connection to India whatsoever. But now, they've been given the divinity and power of Indian gods. I wonder what effect that's had on their abilities.
Answer: Unknown. I never paid much attention to the abilities. I did not need to. Oh, report. I have reached my limit. Outsider. No, Master of Chaldea. Maybe we will meet again someday. And if we do, let it not be this defective version of me. I hope it will be that other, pure me.
Sure.
Just because a servant is given divine power, that doesn't necessarily mean they will see it as a good thing. If anything, it was that power that made her see herself as defective. Yes, even servants are no exception. Knowing what you need, what you don't, what to keep, what to discard. I think everyone has to decide those things for themselves, because no 2 people are exactly alike. It's no one else's place to unilaterally choose them for you. Not even a god. You had every right to say what you did to that Lokapala. I can more than understand your anger at someone desiring to cut themselves off from this world after they've been going around doing the same to others. All I'm saying is that the ones serving the god have their reason as well. As that girl there just said, it's not right for a single entity, even a god, to make decisions for the entire world.
Yes, you're right. Besides, the important thing is that you and your comrades succeeded at defeating one of the Lokapala. This is cause for celebration. I'll go tell the others.
Wah ha 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 ha! Not only did you defeat one of the Lokapala, you even learned the true names of the other 2 servants. This is a most welcome turn of events. So fast, it feels like the car infuriatingly blocking our way moved aside, and we finally got to floor it and leave them in the dust. Now we just have to keep up our momentum all the way to the finish line.
You're not really much good at gauging the mood, are you? We're not exactly celebrating here. No way. My god power's telling me what's really going on here. You didn't gauge the mood here and just ignored it. Neats like me aren't too good at that sort of social stuff. Though I guess you could also call it a pretty minor scale.
Would you mind not so psychoanalyzing me right now? Where? Psychoanalyzing me right where I can hear you? Especially when you're going to be so spot on. As a commander, I merely offered my assessment of the present situation.
A servant doesn't get to choose who summons them. While this was very unfortunate for Neza, it worked out for us. If she hadn't purposely worn herself down, I don't think we could have avoided taking some heavy losses. I agree. It doesn't feel like we won so much as she let us win.
Neza was a special case, since she just happened to have a special connection to the Indian divinity she was given. I don't think we can count on anything similar happening with the Lokapala who don't have any ties to India.
Agree. As for the man was a significant threat, even when we were only trying to get away. His regenerative abilities and his immortality were both on a scale I've rarely seen. As for the other servants, we should assume they're at least as powerful as Neza would have been if she made better use of Kubera's power, if not more so.
We'll figure something out.
That's it? I can't tell if you're deliberately trying to stay positive or just a hopeless optimist.
Still, if nothing else, at least we've made it a bit of progress. Eliminating one of the divinities under Arjuna's control is a victory, no matter how you look at it. Though, of course, it's still too early to say how much value or significance this victory portends. Actually, now that you mention it, I think I do feel a little lighter. That indescribable pressure we felt hindering us in this world. That strange feeling that something is off, that's been preventing us from finding our footing. It feels like it's not quite as bad now. It seems safe to assume that eliminating one of the Lokapala has improved the state of the world somehow. Needless to say, if we're going to defeat Arjuna, we'll need to reduce his overwhelming power and find a way to draw out more of our own. If eliminating Lokapala can achieve both at once, that would truly be killing two birds with one stone.
Forget birds or stones. At this point, that looks to be our only possible path to victory, period. So I guess we'll just have to make our way down it a little bit at a time. Journey of 1,000 miles and all that. In other words, our next course of action is to try and take out all the other Lokapala. And luckily, we now know where we can probably find them. Sure, they may just be very general directions, but it's still better than having no lead at all. Plus, I bet the towns and villages in those areas will know something. Sounds good to me.
According to Neza, as for the man moves around freely on his own, so going after him won't be an option. So the question is, who do we pursue first? William Tell or Asclepius?
That's a no-brainer. The archer is clearly a higher priority target.
Oh, why's that?
Isn't it obvious? We can't have him sniping Silkfrost now, can we? He's the cornerstone of our whole operation here, after all. I may be personally blessed by the goddess of fortune, but Silkfrost there is the one holding the key to our victory. Therefore, we should take out the archer first to eliminate the risk of Silkfrost being taken out at a distance and ensure his safety.
I understand how you feel, but I'm not certain the choice is so clear-cut. We shouldn't let our king rush headlong into danger just because we're wary of the rook.
No, I understand. It's a question of who has the greater advantage. The fact is, we currently have no servants who excel at mid to long range combat. Every member in our current lineup is a close to mid-range fighter. If we were going to after the archer first, we could end up struggling to pin him down, only to have him really throw a wrench in the works by calling in reinforcements.
Agreed. That is a distinct possibility.
Casters, on the other hand, tend to be excellent mages. but they're certainly not known for their prowess in battle. Being an excellent mage doesn't automatically make you an excellent warrior, after all. No, most casters fight by laying cunning traps and collecting information outside of battle to stack the deck in their favor. So in a head-to-head brawl, they're likely to fall one step behind compared to an archer. If we can drag them into such a brawl, we should have a good chance of defeating them. Essentially, our goal would be to reduce the enemy's forces by going after the weaker opponent first.
That would leave the archer's threat looming over us, but that has been no less true all this time. I believe we can minimize the risk by taking measures against any attempts at sniping and eliminating the caster as quickly as possible.
Then it's settled. We'll go after the caster first.
I can't believe it.
Well, why can't you believe it? As a fellow chupster, I demand an explanation.
Hey, I'll have you know that I only have all this extra weight out of respect for Ganesha. Anyway, I was just surprised that you were acting like a decent commander for once. You really do know the difference between serving classes, don't you, Gachi?
Gachi? Does that mean she thinks I'm like Karl Gotch, the undisputed god of pro wrestling? That's a rather elegant nickname you come up with there, young lady. That I appreciate. But to be clear, I've been studying this sort of thing ever since I knew was going to be the next director of Chaldea. After all, it would be quite the farce if Chaldea's top brass didn't know the first thing about its crucial hero to be a summoning system. Isn't that right, Kirlin?
Yes, Director. I know you've been studying diligently every day since we left Russia.
What? No, I've known these things all along. I'm nothing if not a capable commander after all. Regardless, I now easily know just as much as a newly minted master. Furthermore, I've also taken another look at Sophrost's reports. By this point, I can quickly calculate each class trait, the cost of summoning a given servant, and the amount of strain placed on the nervous system by the Mystic Code, with just one hand and a common pocket calculator. Incidentally, Sophrost, you'll be getting hungry in about 3 hours, so make sure you have some rations ready to go.
He's even calculated a rate Master burns calories.
Yes, very impressive. Now, can we get back on track? So we'll be going after Asclepius first. Nessa says he's in charge of the south, but how do we go about finding him?
I am told there's a town in the south. If his job includes keeping an eye on the people in this region, there's a strong chance he'll show up there. In that case, we should be able to ask someone in this village where to find it. Okay, sounds like a plan to me.
Good. Alright, Sophrost, your next mission is to head south, find the caster Asclepius, and defeat him.
Oh, and don't worry. Yours truly, the beautiful Miss Da Vinci, will be holding an extensive lecture on the Greek heroes to give you something to listen to on the way. Whew. Okay. Effect on Forgiving World weakened by the defeat of Lokapala Neza. Okay. Alright, that's it for that stream. I'm gonna go to bed. It's already past almost 10:30. So stay tuned for more continuing on the FGO live stream for Lostbelt 4. So I'll see you guys in the next part of live stream. So peace out and have a good night.